I'm going to show you how to add a name or words or whatever you want, as well as the pumpkin and the bat to the text on this. It's basically just uniting everything. In Inkscape, we call it a union, and in Silhouette, it's welding. In this case, we've got an uneven landscape, so it's a lot different than a lot of the other things I've done. So we're going to just kind of make it a little more interesting than just flat, straight text, because this is a cool Halloween kind of creepy vibe going on. So I didn't want straight text here, but I also provided a generic version as well that has the pumpkin and the bat there. So there is a version of this that you don't have to add a name and customize, but if your customer wants to customize, this is how we're going to do it. So let's put my name here. Go with Aspen. So I've used the text tool and typed in Aspen. I'm going to hold down Shift so I can scale it up. If you don't hold Shift, it scales unproportionately. If you hold Shift, it scales proportionally. So I'm holding Shift. I always do. I'm gonna use a font called Spooky because it's Halloween. So now what I'm going to do here, as you can see, it's not going to weld good here. So we're going to actually edit each letter. So again, it's a little more than what we've done in the past on a lot of these other customized things, but we're going to do it this way. So we're going to create outlines. Again, I say this every video. I have a hard time finding things in the menu sometimes, so bear with me because I use keyboard commands for everything. But we're going to make our font. We're going to create outlines. Then we want to ungroup it because I want to use every individual letter. And again, it's a keyboard command, but ungroup is under here. So we're going to go ungroup. I'm going to just zoom in here. And I'm going to place each letter how I want it. Now you guys can get creative here, do what you want. I mean, this is all, just make it look neat for yourselves. I'm just rotating a few things, making sure that they're all over top of that letter there. Maybe attached here sometimes too, just so it unites to that part too. Let's grab our I here. And we'll grab our N. Now I'm hanging over a little bit here, so we don't want that. And my kids just came into the house, so they're going to be very loud. So what I did there was I grabbed them all. And by the way, this is something that you guys, let me just close my door here, that you guys, I always forget to mention. So a lot of you, sometimes you're like, oh, I selected this and then I selected the other one, but it didn't unite or didn't grab the other one too. So if you hold Shift in any program, you select multiple items like this. If I don't hold Shift, it's going to select the A, then the S, but now the A is not selected. I can also alternatively just click, hold, drag across like that, and I've selected all of this here. So that's how you select all. So I'm going to bring this in a little bit there, and the end needs to come down a bit. Let's rotate that a little bit. So there we go. Now I want to also weld the pumpkin and the bat into that. Or any other art that you guys have. I mean, if you get royalty-free images and stuff, you're allowed to use them to create printed products. You cannot sell the file digitally, as we know, but you guys can put any type of artwork into your created versions as long as you've purchased the images or at a free site. It's available. You check the licensing. But most of the commercial licenses allow product sales for stuff like that. But they do not allow digital resale, even if you edited the design or whatever. There's no licenses that allow that. So there we go. That looks good to me, just to give you an example. So now I've got the pumpkin in there, I got the bat, I got my cool little funky spooky name going on. Using the spooky font. Use whatever font you want. If you guys want to look for different fonts, a great resource I use is called dafont.com. So DAFONT.com. And you can find all kinds of different cool fonts. So what we're going to do now is we're going to select all this section here, as well as my artwork. We're not going to select the sides. So I'm going to just click here, drag across, and select them all. Alternatively, if you want to do the slow way, you can select each single one, holding Shift again, and then select that. So with it all selected, we're going to go to our Pathfinder tool and click Unite. And there we go. Now, as you can see this little thing right here? I want to get rid of that. That's not going to cut good. So I would use my Direct Selection tool. Just grab that, delete that. So there we go. Let's select our artwork. We have to put a stroke on it and not a fill. A fill will engrave, a stroke will cut. So let's get rid of our fill, select our stroke, we set it to black. I'm going to go over to the stroke, I'm going to set it to 0.5 points. And there we go. Save that, you are ready to run. So let's do this in Inkscape. We're going to add the name here along a rough terrain, so something different other than just having it done straight. So let's put my name in. Again, my favorite program. We're going to use the font called Spooky. We're going to scale it up how we want it. Now what I want to do is I kind of want to create this little unique, different, so I'm going to have to make sure that you can see here it's not really connected. So we have to edit each letter individually. So it's, we're going to go to Object to Path. Then we have to ungroup it. So Object, Ungroup. So now I can edit each letter individually. So we're going to just, make it how you like it here, over top of the thing. Also, if you you select the letter twice, so if I've got it here and I select it once, I can scale it and move it around. If I select it twice, I can now rotate it. So we can rotate it how we like it, each letter, to make it go over top of here nicely. God, I hate Inkscape. I don't know how you people use this thing. Oh, it's so slow. All right, so maybe just rotate that a bit. You guys mess around how you like. I'm going to have to rotate it. Just makes that go down onto there a little bit. So yeah, something like that. Then we're going to want to bring our pumpkin from here down because we're going to want to unite everything. So scale that down. If you hold Shift, it scales. It'll scale proportionally. No, apparently it doesn't. Well, it does in Illustrator. So we're going to put that over top of our letters here. Bring the bat in. Get the bat in there. Now you want to make sure that these little points here are well connected. Otherwise, it's just going to be tiny little lines with when it cuts out, and it's not going to be very strong. So I'm going to just do something like, even something like that, you get the point. Do it however you like. Now we have to select all of it. So we're going to hold down Shift, select each letter we want. And as you can see, they're all selected. You can see when things are selected. So we've got lines around all of them. Then we're going to select our background. And now we have it all selected. Alternatively, just like Illustrator, you can click, hold, and drag across what you want to select. Oh, Inkscape has to make you do the whole thing. All right. So now we've got our name, and I'll just hold Shift, and I'll select that. Point is just select it all. And we're going to go Path, Union. And there you go. Give it a fill of none, stroke of black, so that it cuts. We want to make sure that it cuts. A fill will engrave, and a stroke will cut. So I'm going to use the Direct Select tool here because I see a little thing here. See this little guy here? I don't like that. It's going to look like poop. And I'm just going to select just that little node there and delete that. So there we go. Then we'll save that, and you are good to go. Same Halloween design, we're going to do it in Silhouette. Let's add the name. Select all. We're going to change the font to Spooky like we've used in the past. Oh, didn't do it. There we go, Spooky. We're going to select it. We're going to go convert to path. Then we're going to ungroup it. And the reason we're ungrouping it is because I want to edit each letter individually. Let's make it a little bigger here, scale it up. So I think what looks nice here is if you just take the time to, you guys can zoom in and make it a little nicer how you want it. But because it's an uneven path, we want to just edit each letter individually. So if I'm holding shift, I'm selecting multiple items, right guys? Bring it down. It's got to go across the line, so we're going to weld it all together. There we go. The end doesn't touch here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little guy and just tilt them down, bring the arrow down. The A, we can make the A a little bit crooked there, bring it down. Just adds a little more unique touch to it as well. Then we're going to bring our pumpkin down. We're going to scale the pumpkin, bring him down. You guys don't have to put the pumpkin in, you don't have to put the bat in, but I think it's cool. So we're going to bring the bat in, and you want to make sure that with these little lines here, you want to make sure that he's overlapping good on the letter and as well as the pumpkin. Otherwise, it's going to be really fine little lines cut on the Glowforge. So just take your time and make sure it's nice that from that regard. So just tilt him a bit like that. Just make it look good however you guys want. Sure, that looks good to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these things. The letters. I cannot select all because I do not want to select the frame here. I'm holding shift and I selected all my items. And we are going to go to modify, weld. And there you go, guys. That's it. And you give this a stroke instead of a fill, and away you go. So we're going to give this a fill of none and a stroke of black. There you go. Save that and you are good to go. So this is the Halloween set. Prints on 2 sheets. You can do whatever color you want. Sheet 1 comes like that, so that it prints off the sides and the front. Sheet 2 is just the back. So yeah, it goes together very easy, guys. There's slots. I've provided 3 different material thicknesses, 3mm, 5mm, and 6mm. The 5mm is the Home Depot Pure Bond Columbia Forest Maple. So that's the 5mm one here, and that's what I'm using here. So basically, you can see the slots. So very self-explanatory. You would have to just glue that to there. Glue that one there. Oops. Slot it in like that. And that goes into that slot. There you go. Once it's glued together, it'll be firm and stuff, but that's the idea, guys. There you go.